Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Happy Monday. It's the start of a brand new week, the start of a brand new month. It is Monday, July 1st, 2019. All kinds of opportunities and possibilities await us. It's summer. We're in full swing now. And it's time to get your affairs in order. And when I say affairs, I mean the work you need to do on yourself. Today, for my blog posts, which, by the way, every time I say that my blog posts are getting too long, I make them even longer. Today's probably the longest I ever did. I had a lot to say. I had a guest over the weekend who was a big challenge for the Hopefulist. My cousin was here. And today I'm going to talk about when nothing seems to be working. I had also put it out there on the group page a little while ago asking for topics that people thought that they may need some work on. And Lisa had mentioned that she had read The Secret and nothing still seemed to be working for her. So I'm going to get into all of that a little bit in my blog post. I wanted to talk a little bit about the podcast party we had on Friday. I hope you all enjoyed it. We had a blast doing it. If you haven't checked out the Facebook Live, do it. It's funny. Joe is so much more entertaining than he thinks he is. The best part of the Facebook Live is, you know, when we were doing the podcast, we only have one microphone, so I was having to go back and forth between the two of us. So what you didn't notice probably in the podcast is when we were talking about boats, and I was like, oh, he just said it, we're getting a boat, we're getting a boat. He's looking in the camera on Facebook Live going, no, we are not getting a boat. Pretty funny stuff. Completely wrong, because we are getting a boat. So not anytime soon, and he knows that. That's why he keeps, hassling me about it. But we will get a boat. One day, we will get a boat. So thank you for celebrating with us for our 50th podcast, our 50th episode on Friday. It was so much fun. And I'm back to sitting here in my jammies with my hair a mess, pulled back in a ponytail, and no makeup on. So I feel much more at home today. But it was fun to get dressed and put my makeup on and party for you guys. And it was a dream come true. It was something that I never really thought about happening in my life. And not only is it happening, but everything's moving so quickly. Everything's on target. And I couldn't be happier. And I thank you for tuning in every day and listening to the Hopefulist as we try to change all those pessimists out there into hopefulists. It can be done. I was the worst pessimist that I had known. In fact, when my cousin was here, he has been going through some tough times. And he had mentioned that he feels like we have reversed. That all those times I sat at his house complaining about my life and everything was really great in his life, he was the optimist and I was the pessimist. And now our roles have flipped. He is now the pessimist and I am the hopefulist. And it's kind of true and kind of a little ironic and a little bit funny. I said, oh, so you're saying that I stole your optimism? And he's like, no, I don't think you stole my optimism. I'm just wondering if there's only a certain amount of people that are allotted to be optimists. And whenever somebody that was pessimistic becomes optimistic, maybe an optimistic person has to become pessimistic. No, not buying it. Not one little iota. There is enough room in this world for everybody to be happy with their life. And although that's never going to happen, it can happen for you. And that's why I do this. So, like I said, my cousin's been going through some tough times, and he's seen my frustration with him throughout the last couple of years, because it's been a couple of years now. And he definitely saw my frustration with him this past weekend, because I believe that my cousin knows what he needs to do to get past this. Here's the problem. I don't think he wants to get past it. He is wallowing. He is feeling sorry for himself. Things didn't turn out the way he had hoped. And instead of taking the lemons and making lemonade, he is sucking on these lemons until they are absolutely dry, then going out and buying more lemons to suck on. He is stuck, and he's not trying to help himself. He is to an extent. He's listening to the podcast every day. He's taking my advice. He's taking everybody's advice, but he's not really following it. I think that he truly does want to feel better, but I think that he's just so mad about what happened to him. And I don't blame him. And it does take time to get over these things, but it's been a while now, and he really should be moving on. In fact, in my opinion, he kind of thinks, well, I did everything I was supposed to, and everything blew up in my face anyway. So now I'm not going to worry. I'm not even going to try anymore because obviously I tried and tried and tried, and it didn't work. Well, now, in my opinion, you got to try even harder now because now you're due. Now you know what pitfalls to avoid. You know what it is that you want, and you deserve it. Instead of just wallowing and sitting around thinking that you were dealt a bad hand, get in there and change your circumstances. Get in there and make it the best life that you want. It's not going to happen by putting things off. He has all these excuses. Well, I can't do this until this, and I can't do that until that. And I'm like, those are all very good reasons for putting off the things that you say you want to do, but they are excuses. If you want to move and you don't want to disrupt your daughter who is in a school that she likes and you don't want to move, that's fine. But know that that's your choice. If you truly feel like you need to move somewhere else to lessen the stress and anxiety of your life and to put you in a happier place, you can. If you don't, for whatever reasons you are choosing, that's fine. But don't say that you can't change your circumstances, because you can. There are plenty of children who are uprooted and moved to new areas in the midst of their high school careers. I know he's not going to do that, and that's absolutely fine. But don't say, I can't until once she graduates high school, then I can work on me. That is 3 years from now. That is insane. That is absurd. There is no reason for you to wait that long to do stuff that will bring you happiness. Like I said, sucking on the lemons and then buying more lemons to suck on. You have to get yourself out of it. Okay? Get yourself out of it. Stop wallowing. Yes, it was unfair what happened. It was unfair that I had a mother who wasn't very caring and loving and, kind of slapped me in the face when she passed away by the actions that she took after her death. But am I going to sit back and say, oh, well, I didn't have a good mother, so I'm not going to do anything now. I'm just going to sit here and be poor woe is me the rest of my life because I can't get another mother. Sound absurd? Yeah, but it's the same thing. It really is. It's the same thing. You know who I'm talking to. All right, cousin? You know who I'm talking to. Stop wallowing. Get out of it. I'm going to go on to the topic because I've rambled already so much. I'm not doing much news stories today just for the fact that I've already rambled for 9 minutes and 15 seconds. And my podcast, my blog, like I said, is extremely long today. So I'm going to go to the topic. Let me find it. Topic. Let's see. Scrolling through Facebook. Come on, Facebook. Don't let me down. I had posted a question yesterday on the Hopefulist page. Do you prefer to be on the beach or poolside? Now, some of the answers I received. Mandy says on vacation, I go to the beach first, then come back to the pool. But if I had a choice, I think as long as it's a sea breeze, I'd rather the beach. Marcy says, there is nothing better for the soul than sitting on the beach and listening to the sound of the waves. Janet says beach first, but it depends on the beach. Diane says pool. Linda says both. Betsy says beach. Let's see. Marnie says beach, the air, the sound. Joe says lagoon. That's my husband. Yes, once we have moved to the place that we are living in now, we very rarely go to the beach because we love sitting out in our own backyard and just watching the water flow by. Michelle says, I like both, but will always choose the beach if that's an option. Samantha said, ditto to what Michelle said. A lot of pool sides, though, a lot more than I had anticipated. And some of the responses made me think, because I surprisingly would pick pool. And the reason that is because, one, it's not as dirty. All that sand really starts to get on my nerves. And I just have a very low tolerance for people as I get older. Now, don't get me wrong. I love going to sit on the beach with a good book. And sometimes I read, and sometimes I just sit and people watch. The beach is still one of those places where I can sit and do absolutely nothing except watch the waves, listen to the sound of the waves, watch the people walking back and forth, taking long strolls on the beach, watch the people in the water swimming and running back and forth into the waves and out of the waves. And I love watching it, the little kids that stand at the surface and keep running backwards to not get their feet wet. It's one of the rare places, it may be the only place, where I can literally still just sit and just be and not feel guilty about it, not have to think about what I'm doing, in an hour or tomorrow or next week. I can just sit and be at the beach. So you would think that I would want to do that often, right? Yeah, no. You know why? Because people are annoying. I love to people watch, but the last time I was at the beach was last summer, and it was the first and last visit I made to the beach during normal beach hours, when it's crowded and there's a million people there. When I was there, I got there early. I typically go to the beach pretty early, like 9, 10 o'clock, so I can get a good spot. And I like to be there early so I can leave early when it's starting to get super crowded. I can get a good spot up by the water. And I don't typically go to a beach that has a lifeguard on it so I can stay away from the kids and the screaming and the yelling. So it's usually a block or two away from a lifeguard stand. So they're even less populated. But, lo and behold, some guy and, his wife or girlfriend or whatever come set up shop, not even, 6 feet from me, turn the radio on, and I'm just like, I didn't come here to listen to your music. And if you wanted to enjoy your music, that's fine. Just put it loud enough for you to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Especially your music. If I wanted to listen to music, I'd listen to my music. I know I'm being a bit of a fuddy-duddy. That's okay. That's why I don't go. I just don't go anymore because everybody annoys me. So I would prefer to lay out or hang out by a pool all day, or even, like my husband said, in my own backyard, laying by the water, reading my book, just relaxing. Speaking of relaxing, yesterday, I had my cousin go on. I have a big, huge float that I will sit in the lagoon. And it is the most relaxing thing I do living here at the shore. I get in that float and I just go where I tie it up to my dock because we do live on a very busy lagoon and I can't just float around because I'll get hit by a boat. So I do tie it up, and it's actually kind of nice because then I don't really have to worry about it. I hang on to the rope a little bit in case, a knot comes untied and I don't want to be floating down the lagoon with no way to get back. And it's just nice. The waves of the water kind of buoying you around. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. It's relaxing. Just sit there and let go. And I had my cousin do it for a little while, and he agreed. He goes, this is probably the most relaxed I've been in a long time. And it was the first time I had actually gone in because the water's been a little bit cold, and I'm a bit of a baby when it comes to cold water. And mostly I only get, my bottom my bottom half wet, but still, it's just